Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci. It's about 2:40 in the morning right now. I'm very afraid and worried about our friend Antifa Kyle. For any of you guys been following him on Instagram and you don't realize what's happening, they're moving in on our systems online, the online aspect of things, controlling our feeds, controlling the masses. They've got ears on all of us. They had me throttled down to zero. My voice don't go anywhere unless you go into my page and go look at what I post, right? And the only one that's the least amount of that manipulation and heavy-handedness because of the ownerships of the oligarchy onto these platforms. The only one that's not doing that as much right now is Google. Google and YouTube and that whole spiel. But when you get into the social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, any of the threads, any of the ones we're using, most of them are all owned by Zuckerberg. Think about it, okay? And they're manipulating these feed profiles. And they have total control over it. Right now, they are feeling high on themselves, right? Because they have total control of the computers. They have all that. They're trying to control the masses, us, through what they're doing on the street, okay? This is what's different than the 1930s and 40s. We have technology and the internet and social media that is affecting things totally different. So they have control of that, and they're manipulating us as much as they can through that. Those that are on a list, like me, they've throttled me down to zero. My voice goes nowhere. Okay, if you're seeing this, it's because it's slipping through Google a little bit into your YouTube, into your algorithms. But in a general sense, I'm posting on Facebook, which used to get propagated to Instagram, Threads, etc., and it works really well sometimes. And then all of a sudden it goes away. They control it, right? That's what they're doing right now. So Antifa Kyle, for anybody that's been following my posting, I've been cross-posting his stuff, coming from Minneapolis, coming from the front lines is what I call it, the resistance of those guys out there doing what they need to do to deal with ICE. Okay? That being the case, if you don't think the government is all over this stuff with Trump and what he's got going on and their lack of respect for our rights and doing what they're doing in a heavy-handed, high-technology way, okay, think about this, right? Think about how much ability they have with their technology, their facial recognition, all the stuff they're trying to move in to basically be able to have eyes and ears on the public at all times. And when there's anybody that's anti like me, okay, how long have I been running out with I am Antifa? Before I met Antifa Kyle, I was running with that logo. And the reason being, and then that slogan, the reason being is it's an ideology, and you can't squash an ideology, right? I wish more people would understand what I'm trying to tell you. Right now, he's trying to use it as a cudgel. He's using it as a thing and going after Antifa. They're terrorists. He wants to demonize something in his own little fantasy world and make this thing, and I won't let him. And that's what Kyle was smart enough to see too, right? So he ran out being proud about resistance, being proud about this is our country and we will fight, we will keep our country. And he's there in the middle of it. I mean, Minneapolis is there on ground zero, right? I'm in California. I'm way out in the boonies. Nobody knows I'm here because they know I'm here. I've been going because I have to drive into town and I've only got limited ways to get in. They can track me. Okay, they can follow me with just their little games, right? How many times do you think these guys come up on people and all of a sudden you got 3 or 4 cars going? They plan that, right? Same thing can happen to me here, right? Because they've got their eyes and their ears on me and they've got me throttled down to zero. They've got everything, all the filters set up to be able to, I can't say a thing. If I say the word Antifa, if I say the word Trump, if I say anything that's negative, it gets squashed. It doesn't go anywhere. Go to my page, and if you've got any access, here's the thing, guys. What you don't understand with the computerization and AI and everything they can do nowadays, right? They can take it and have it flow and seem to look a certain way from me. And when I post, that goes and gets control. That algorithm gets control of where that goes, who gets to see it, how they get to see it, right? Think about it, all right? They can manipulate that feed to make me look like a nut, right? To be a paranoid person. They are manipulating the feed and they're throttling it. They were all over Antifa Kyle. He couldn't even blink, right? They kept his numbers below the 10,000 number. He kept noticing this outside stuff, but that's the guys that own the friggin' system. It's friggin' Zuckerberg and his whole team is in with them. They're now having fun playing like a petri dish, like an experiment, to see how can they control the masses through our social media. And all you guys that are up on your high horses as far as your pro-democracy podcasters that have large numbers and you think you're all important, it's great. Your message is getting out there. Your clips are getting out there. We understand that, right? And they don't have as much control over you, because if they do and you go, wham, look at Don Lemon, right? He's got enough voice to be able to overcome. He's got lawyers on him right now. He can go into court. He can deal with this. And they can't screw with him because it's more visible, right? Somebody like Antifa Kyle, he's not as visible. Me, I'm not visible at all. I'm a ghost, right? That's the issue. They can do whatever they want to do with us because I can scream as loud as I want to and nobody can hear me. Don't you get it? And then I've been trying to reach out to Adam Mockler, to the Ben Masalas, all the guys. I've been sending backdoor messages left and right. Do you think it gets there? I got millions of followers, and if that doesn't scratch the surface, they don't give a shit. They don't care. They're in their own little video stuff. So Antifa Kyle, let's go back to him. He got snatched up Wednesday night. They broke his door down. They went to his apartment where he's been filming out of a lot. They broke his door down and they dragged him out of there just like it's an arrest, right? It wasn't the cops. It was ICE. They have no power for arrest. What are they doing? Do they have a warrant? Do they have anything? No, but you know how the feds are, right? So whatever. So they snatched him up. They've been watching him for the last 2-3 weeks. They've been watching me through his feed. I really feel that, because I was talking to him yesterday, back and forth with DMs. We were having a chat. I was talking dogs, letting them see some of the dogs I've got and doing our thing. And I got a phone call out of the blue. My phone got interrupted with a phone call. It was a spam call. It was them linking to my phone so they could get back and do the triangulation, because we had feed going on in the internet, IP, okay? And they're working it. And then they got back to his feed and they went, now why do I think that happened? Because I'm in California, outside of Silicon Valley. I'm in the heart of all the military and all the friggin' high-tech friggin' fiber optics and all that is all around me. The rumor is, and we know it, there's an underground friggin' military base thousands of miles right around the way from me. We all know there's a fence line out there that doesn't have much signage at all. It says, keep out. Every now and then you see a military officer with some kind of gear, khakis, that kind of thing. Where are they stationed? Well, they're all over the place. The Blackbird was right out here. The Blackbird jet, all that, and all the secret stuff that happens. It's in our desert that it happens, right? So they've got more technology. They've got a drone factory right here. They see the drones being flown. They're teaching them how to fly, and they're flying all over the desert, because what better airspace to use than populations that are low populated and plenty of airspace, right? I see all kinds of fancy little planes and stuff up in the air every now and then, right? So it is what it is, but I think that's what happened. They used me to ping back to him, and we were talking at the exact same time, back and forth. And he didn't yell, hey, they're here to get me. I mean, I saw the evidence online with little clips. I saw one clip with somebody filming outside and giving the ICE hell, and them going up a stairway and I know he's got an upstairs apartment. So I knew dang well what that was. I came out of Minnesota. And it was a little clip, and it blurped across my algorithm a little bit, and then it was gone. I can't find it again. It's the way the algorithm works with threads and stuff. It's pretty sparse. If I don't stay on top of a thread to try to repropagate it and repost it, and I get distracted mentally and I go somewhere else, I lose it, right? So there was one the other night with a guy talking about military and how they deal with disruption of populace in other countries. He's been around. It was his job, was ops, right? Like that. They go in, that's what they're doing to us right now. They've got us in full mental fucking playing games, and the American public doesn't realize it. They don't realize there's a method to everything they're doing, right? It's saturation of the zone, get us so confused, have so much stuff coming at us that we can't handle it. It's a flood, right, to our brains. And then at the same time, they're working it in the background because they've got all the tech guys with them on their side. Think about all the guys that went in and got into the kernels, right? All those kernels that and they were all techies. They were all the oligarchs that own all the tech platforms and all that. Why do you think they got them in there and gave them a little pat on the back and they signed them up, right? Why? because they're right now using the friggin' systems that are our social media and our voice, and they're squelching and they're manipulating, they're working it. And we are the experiment. And all the guys that are so high up with their, Adam Mocklers and the Midas Touch and all these guys with millions, and they're just working it as a normal thing, trying to get clicks and keep their money coming in and get their subjects going. But in reality and truth, it's happening now, people. Don't you realize that? Right? They threw Antifa Kyle into a deep, dark hole. They either took him to Whipple. I have no idea. I'm here in California, and I'm waiting for my algorithm to give me a little bit of tidbits and somebody to reach out to me to let me know. But do they know I'm there? No, they're in the middle of the thick of their fight, right? So they're dealing with what they got to deal with on the ground right there. I'm on the outside trying to reach in and trying to figure out. I've sent all kinds of backdoor messages tonight. I've been online. That's all I've been doing. Trying to get through to Adam Mockler, get through to the Midas Touch brothers, get through to Jolly, get through to anybody that's on our pro-democracy side that has enough voice. Jolly's in Minneapolis. I hope he has enough clout to be able to figure out. I want to get legal eyes on Kyle, okay, so that we have at least a line on him. Otherwise, they'll throw him into a deep, dark hole. They'll abuse him for however long they're going to abuse him and use him for their propaganda bullshit, right? That's all it is. They're a terrorist and dirty him up and use it as propaganda. And I've been leading out with I Am Antifa on my webpage for the longest time on Facebook. And I can expect to knock on my friggin' door and snatch me up, right? Because I'm just a citizen that's trying to survive. Same friggin' thing. They can dirty me up real easy, right? They'll dirty me up, throw me and demonize me and everything else and throw me to the wolves and throw me into a deep, dark hole and use me for their fucking propaganda. That's all it is. Okay? We are being attacked right now, whether you realize it or not. I'm going to give you some key things you need to do. And I'm not even, Sean Ryan, that has all that experience with clandestine warfare, right? Survival, right? That's where we're at right now, right? Unless you've got a large enough voice that you're above it, and you're not in the, but when you're in like where I'm at, with my big mouth and not, but I'm being controlled, so it doesn't go anywhere. They've got me by the balls. Right? So with that, I tell you one thing. We need to figure out our communication. We need to back up and get off of these fucking systems to communicate. Okay? Signal's not safe. I don't think it's safe. And I know damn well WhatsApp's not safe. They've been building it up for the last 5 years, 10 years, making us think that those communication software is safe. You don't think they got a backdoor into that and they can see and hear everything you're saying? And because you think it's safe, you're going to use it? God, people are so friggin' stupid, right? So we got to figure out something, right? Is it those radios that are getting real popular right now that you can scan and set your own frequency to be able to communicate? Is it that? Whatever we need to do something, okay? I know what I can do. I can reach out to some of my geeks that I hope will be on the left and have to trust somebody, but I got a couple of people that could do something, but damn. So if I disappear, you don't hear my voice posting. If you go to my page and you stay on top of me, if I disappear, you know that they grabbed me up and they got me in a deep, dark hole, right? And then they're taking our phones because Kyle's got his own communication with his people, I'm sure. And I've got some, but I'm not messing with that. My voice, what I'm putting online is what everything is, but they've got that on total control. I don't have any backdoor communication going on. Kyle did because he had to deal with what was going on the street. They don't talk about that stuff online. It goes on, private little messages with drops and everything else. They're starting to, because you've got to get into paper. You got to get physical. You can't stay in the technology because they've got the technology. They've got it, right? They've got eyes, ears up, and all kinds of sneaky little games that they can play with their technology. They've got the technological friggin' oligarchs on their side. That's what I've been trying to tell people. You don't get it, right? You don't have freedom of your voice because they're watching everything you do and they're monitoring and they're manipulating how that feed goes out to do what they want to do for their propaganda and bullshit. That's all it is. It's fascism, fascist propaganda. Think about it. All right, I'm done. Have a good night, guys. If anybody's got a line on Antifa Kyle in Minneapolis, please send me some background. I need to know. I'm hurting. Jolly, if you're getting this, if anybody sees this, please He needs some help. We need to get a legal eyes on him. We need to get him some kind of legal representation and some kind of line on him so they don't throw him in a deep, dark hole and let him get lost in the system because he's got nobody advocating for him. Think about it. I'll talk to you later.